going on, everybody? It's your boy John, and welcome back to Gearbox. Alright, so I hope y'all like that little intro there. I know I've kind of mentioned my musical interest in the past. Sitting up here making just a good old-fashioned sit-down vlog, so I figured, what the hell, we got an acoustic guitar, banjo, 2 electric guitars right here. Let's go ahead and do something fun. So I hope you liked it. Not the best, but I gave my best shot. But anyway, guys, obviously by today's thumbnail and title, you kind of know what we're talking about. More of a serious topic than it is a, install or joking around type stuff. But really, the topic today, is, as far as just car culture in general and kind of where that culture stands and the people that are in it, was kind of sparked from my previous video about cars and coffee. So to kind of recap, if you don't know what cars and coffee is, first off, pause this video, go watch my last video. It's a short one, but a good one, just kind of showing off some cool cars from the last Cars and Coffee that I attended. But Cars and Coffee, and there are a billion and one meets out there, but Cars and Coffee, I would say, is one of the most notable. And it's just that. You show up, bring your cars, maybe a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand cars, just depending on where you're at in the world and whatever. You got coffee, donuts, whatever, early in the morning. And really the point of it is bring your shit, go talk to like-minded people, maybe similar builds, maybe completely opposite interest in cars. Maybe you've got American Muscle versus some dude who all he enjoys are K cars. It's really cool on paper, and it's something that I enjoy going to. I know I expressed this in the last video, but it's not something that I get to do too terribly often. It feels like every single time I end up, seeing, oh yeah, Cars and Coffee is this weekend, I've got something to do. But nonetheless, a great way to kind of get an introduction to car culture and start to, insert yourself in some way, shape, or form. But what I want to talk about today is kind of the opposite of all the fun-loving, yay, everyone's friends type of shit that I tend to experience at Cars and Coffee, for example. But it's really just, in my opinion, the status of car culture today has really taken a turn for the worst, in my opinion. And it's something that's really sad to see. And I'll preface all this by saying that it doesn't matter what group you're talking about, what hobby you're talking about, there are always going to be bad apples. But just hear me out kind of on where I'm coming from. So first, let's talk about in-person meets. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of these street takeovers, these swinging meets, whatever the hell you want to call it. A lot of them happen in, let's call it Atlanta, Georgia, LA, San Francisco, big cities. And basically what's going on is people are blocking intersections. They're doing donuts. Police officers are coming. No one is letting the police officers in. And not only are they blocking, law enforcement, but they're also blocking normal road goers. And with this turns into that mob mentality. Mob mentality is something that gets thrown around a lot nowadays in regards to a lot of different things, but I definitely think it holds true when it comes to these swing meets. And ultimately, I'm just not okay with disrespecting law enforcement. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to piss some people off here. I don't know why, but I'm sure it will. But, they're out there doing their job, and they have decided for a career path to serve the community, and dealing with these people who don't care for the law or, think they're above the law in some way, shape, or form. It's just not a good way of life. And then from there, you talk about the danger of said swing meets. Doing donuts, non-professional drivers, non-closed courses, and I'm sure we are all guilty, myself included, of doing some stuff, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but doing some stuff that maybe we shouldn't have on public roads or parking lots or whatever, that might be frowned upon by law enforcement. But in my case, in the theoretical instances, no one's there, it's late at night, or it's like a snow day back in Ohio, and you're not going to hurt anyone except maybe yourself. But these swing meets, time after time after time, we see guys spinning out of control, hitting parked cars. We see people spinning out of control, hitting people that are there attending, said events. And it's just really not a good look. What it comes down to is now we have, let's call it 10% of the car community, and it's probably less, but for, nice, easy round numbers, we have 10% of the car community that is painting this god-awful picture for all of these news outlets and media platforms, so on and so forth, to then judge people like me and you, who might be phenomenal law-abiding citizens, that's how you say that phrase, who just happen to enjoy cars. And they're kind of ruining it for everyone, and I'm just not okay with that. It's something that gets talked about time and time again, and they just keep doing it. And that's honestly part of the reason why whenever I end up going to a car meet, it's always cars and coffee, because I know it's a well-established deal. They are very strict on their rules, at least where I'm at. So I know I'm not going to get caught up in some crazy-ass illegal activity and maybe end up in handcuffs just for being guilty by association. Now, switching gears a little bit, no pun intended, let's talk about the non-in-person stuff. Obviously, with how large social media is, whether we're sitting here on YouTube, whether you're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, it is toxic as hell. Gone are the days where I build my Subaru the way I want to build my Subaru, and people of the same opinion or people who can appreciate my build say, hey man, good job, keep up the good work. Or, hey man, do you mind teaching me about your Hemi and your Dodge whatever? I don't know that type of stuff, but I'm willing to learn. But what I see nowadays with social media is, of course, you have your keyboard warriors, you have these people hiding behind screens who essentially won't get punched in the mouth for talking shit. And I'm not saying that every single person out there needs to agree with every single type of build. I've made a video on types of builds that I don't exactly like, but the way I approach it is I wouldn't Carolina squat my truck, but if that's what you want to do, go for it. Good luck with paying the tickets now. But regardless, that's your prerogative. Unfortunately, we've entered into this realm where now it seems to be a whole lot of negative, just blah, 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 blah. I mean, sitting there, oh, why would you put a rally car on backs? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? Why didn't you get this model? Why did you get base? Why didn't you get limited? Why didn't you do real Volk T37s? Why did you do rep wheels? Why did you do this? Why? And it's like, guys, shut the up. Like, point blank period. Shut up. I'm all for a happy, healthy discourse, and that discourse can include disagreements. But what I'm not here for is a pissing contest on any platform, whether it be in person or online, having a pissing contest that my opinion is greater than yours, therefore your build or your this or your that is invalid. And ultimately, I feel that turns people away from putting themselves out there and showing off what they are proud of, what they've built, what they've done. And it's tough. And having this YouTube channel, albeit not massive, but I appreciate everyone that supports. But still, you know, I've had to, and I'm a person who 9 times out of 10 has very thick skin and can really just let shit roll right off my back, and I don't really care. But I have had some experiences with some comments or whatever. It's where I'm kind of like, damn, like, am I in the wrong? And at the end of the day, no, I'm not in the wrong. You want to know why? Because that's what I wanted to do, and so I did it, and I just so happened to post it to people. I'm not posting this shit for 100%, you know, satisfaction rating. I'm posting this shit because I want to, and I enjoy doing this. I think it's a good outlet for me with everything else I have going on in my life, and I get to do it with a hobby and a topic that I enjoy. But bringing it back home, guys, it's just become this super toxic culture, and that's not to use that as a blanket statement for every single car person, because guess what? I was at the gas station today, and this dude was driving some Camaro, like maybe a 2017 Camaro, and he and I were just broing off over our cars for like 10 minutes. Like, gas was done pumping. That's what it's all about. You know, it should not have this just bullshit, you know, I'm greater than thou type of mentality. That's not cool, and that's what's going to drive people away from it and have people kind of shell up and maybe not put themselves out there, maybe not post pictures of their car because they're afraid of what people are going to say. And it's unfortunate, because the car culture, in my opinion, is one of the coolest groups of people because of the diversity. Not only from the type of people, as in like race, religion, nationality, you know, whatever, but the types of cars that we enjoy. Me, for example, I'm a big country white boy. Does anyone expect my ass to hop out of a 2019 bagged WRX? Wearing cowboy boots, nonetheless. No. But guess what? I happen to live in the South and happen to like country boy shit that also likes Japanese cars. Who would have thought? And you can use examples like that across the board. And I think that is super cool, and it's just something that's being tarnished by people with bad attitudes and horrible perspectives on life right now. And I just felt the need to share this with you guys. It just really, really irritates me, and as much as I wish I could just snap my fingers and make it go away, it's not. And so I challenge all of you guys watching this video, whether it's 10 people or whether it's 10,000 people, I challenge all of you guys to really kind of reflect and take a look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know, sure, I might enjoy this type of car, this type of truck, but what do I do to show appreciation for other builds that I wouldn't necessarily do myself? And going to a car meet's a great way to do that. There are a lot of cars there, you know, Volkswagen, whatever, or Miatas. Not the biggest Miata guy, but I always make a point to go up to Miata guys and ask about their shit. And I get to gain more of an appreciation for Miatas in that case. So anyway, I will end my rant there, but once again, just felt the need to kind of talk about this with you guys. It's something that I've been wanting to make a video about for a while, and I think that Cars and Coffee last week just kind of sparked my, all right, now's the time to do this type of deal. So we will leave it there. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, as always, give her a big fat thumbs up. If you have any comments, because I'm sure there are a bunch, drop them down below. As always, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the drill. And until next time, peace.